download this you want to share with me. I'll watch it too. Just no slavery. You heard me?
Yesterday at that meeting which was called, the Negro leaders said that if the police would stay out of that area, the rioting would subside. Now this doesn't jive with what you're just telling us. If the police stayed out and you still had riots, how do you gel those two things? At 6 o'clock, I traveled that area and everything was calm. I remarked to my administrative assistant that the presence of large numbers of talented policemen was not conducive to good community relations. Now, had they not been there, I seen that this would not have happened. But after it did happen, then they did not come in an area where they should have been. Dick Gregory spent 5 hours last night walking through the riot-torn area, pleading with the rioters to go home. We withdrew and moved back across the street because we had no identification between us from any group that stand on the corner. So the fact that we're moving back, the police moved in, we were standing behind the police's line when they were shooting at the police, and this is when I was hit. And we worried about tonight. It was now before 10 o'clock, and we had many hours between now and tonight. We're going to throw our hands up and say it's going to happen tonight. We got to work, just like a doctor works with a patient until it dies. Robert Pearl, the civil rights person who was asked why a newsman had been singled out for such rough treatment. They say that you white reporters are not going to report the news the way it is as far as the policemen grabbing Negro women off the street or grabbing Negro kids off in the street and beating them 5 and 10 people. So they say you're going to lie to the news, and so therefore they're going to give you something to report. They'll beat you, and then you report that because you saw that. You know, in a more sophisticated way. I watched the television reporting. Did you see what we put on last night? I'm not the problem with Dick Gregory didn't have as much time as he thought to try to arrive at the truth because it was just shortly after that press conference we saw that the fires were breaking out on 107th Street. And as our afternoon grows late, authorities are increasingly concerned about the number of fires and handguns known to be in the hands of the rioters.
As I was on a program in Mount Vernon the other night, and this rabbi, who was also on the panel, spent all of his time trying to get the so-called Negroes in the audience to weep over what Hitler did to the Jews. But you look like weeping over what Hitler did, and you haven't yet learned how to weep over what Uncle Sam is doing to you right now. Everything that Hitler did in Germany, he learned it from Uncle Sam. Hitler was not the author of white supremacy. Uncle Sam was practicing white supremacy long before Hitler was born. And Uncle Sam was burning black people in this country long before Hitler ever heard of the Jews. So when these Jews come up in your face, trying to get you to cry for them, over what happened to them, you tell them you don't have any tears left. You have shed too many tears for your own kind.
That there might be trouble where you're going? Have you gotten any calls or been given any warning, anything of this sort?
No, I haven't had any. I've been in and out of Mississippi many times, and I just play it by ear. I think if I can sit in a room and entertain a room full of drunks, I can go to Mississippi in a dry state.
I got a hate letter. Well, I usually get hate letters. They usually start off, you nigger this, you nigger that. Can you imagine getting a hate letter like the 45th day of a fast, right? You have 8 nothing, right? 45 days without eating, you go down and you open your mail and you see this hate letter, you open it up, and it says, Dear Mr. Gregory, this is to inform you that yesterday for dinner I had fried chicken with gravy. And then you're aware for the first time that there's a black cat out there somewhere that hates you, right? I mean, you know, let's face it, we know you white folks eat a lot of fried chicken, but we know who eats it with gravy.
Even if you're Richard Gregory, running for president is not easy when you're $40,000 in debt. Gregory's six-man staff has its hands full just keeping the creditors at bay. His campaigning is done by car, somebody else's car. No press bus, no reporters, no televised news conferences. Just an occasional spot on a TV talk show. There are not even enough Gregory for President buttons to go around. Gregory may preach nonviolence, but he does not preach nonviolently.
I think the best way you can explain the Black Panthers to fools is tell them to go home, turn on television, and leave it on all week. And when Matt Dillon comes on, was teaching you as the virtue to shoot straight, that's the White Panther. The Black Panther is ain't over that face black. And I'll tell you why. Just 100 years ago, when the black slave system came to heaven,
Dick Gregory can still make people laugh, just like he used to do in the nightclubs. But nowadays, his humor is for a purpose, and not just for profit. And now he is playing to a much different kind of audience. Gregory spends the bulk of his time on college campuses, talking to young white students. 6 years ago, Gregory was one of the funniest comics in show business. He made $250,000 a year and wore hand-tailored suits to camouflage his excess weight. Today, Gregory is bankrupt, and dressed in a workman's suit, he is preaching nonviolence and campaigning as a write-in candidate for president.
I thought the whole world knew the first thing I would do after becoming president of the United States is paint the White House black. The second thing I would do would be to bring all the boys home from Vietnam and send LBJ. And I'd have Eartha Kitt call him up every morning and say, "We're working on peace fields, baby."
Most rich men who go broke don't mean to, but Dick Gregory did it on purpose. He left show business to take up a full-time career as the most prominent lone wolf in the civil rights movement. But Gregory says he would not have it any other way. The old Dick Gregory, the white man's Negro celebrity, is dead. Now there is Richard Gregory, the poor but proud black activist.
I went something. I marched right next to the nuns, which I thought was the safest spot. You saw me up in front of the line. And in doing this, I got a man to it. It was a group of man because I really got to see Negroes and white folks that were scared. I realized this wasn't an issue of black against white. It was an issue of right against wrong. The United States Constitution talks about justice. And I think that we're being shortchanged because everybody's going about communism. If America could become as frightened of the injustices as she is of communism and wipe it out with all the vigor she's trying to wipe out communism, this would be a brutal country, and that in itself would be the greatest blow in the history of communism.
Could Richard Gregory, the presidential candidate, ever go back to being Dick Gregory, the nightclub comedian?
No, never.
Hey, brother, what's the purpose of being here today? What's the purpose of being here today?
Well, to be honest with you, some brothers called me up and they agreed that I come down here.
Dick Gregory can still be a very funny man, but it is a tragic humor to a much different kind of audience these days. He knows he hasn't a chance of making it to the White House, but this is one candidate who would rather be Richard Gregory than be president. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, with the Gregory campaign.
Hunger strike in Tehran. Gregory arrived in Paris, fearful, he said, that the Iranian crisis could mushroom into World War III, unless it is resolved soon. The former comedian and civil rights activist, who weighed 155 pounds when he began his hunger strike, but who now weighs 110, warned that Russia is much more involved in Iran than most people think, and he urged the United States to do all it can to defuse tensions now. His suggestions: drop economic sanctions, unfreeze $8 billion worth of Iranian assets, send Secretary of State Muskie to Iran to negotiate the release of the American hostages.
The average person in the street feels that if the American government if people are attacking Iranians in America because of the hostages, but the business people will still ship their products against a boycott, and you can't make more than 12 cents profit on a box of grits, then the hostages to them, in their mind, represents $8 billion. So if the hostages never come back, the $8 billion never come back. And I think because of that attitude, I would strongly suggest that because the business community in America have violated the boycott, there is nothing that you cannot get in Iran that you couldn't get before. I think because of that, I would strongly suggest for them to release that $8 billion. There's nothing else that gets off the mind that it's a money thing. But most of the people in the street, and this is down to people that go into the stores and see the American products, they really believe that if those hostages was killed in the morning, America would love it because it represents $8 billion.
Gregory said he did not see any of the hostages while in Iran, but did talk to some of the militants holding them. He predicted the militants would abide by whatever decision the Iranian parliament makes about the hostages' future. Gregory says he will continue his hunger strike until the situation is resolved and, strength permitting, dramatize his commitment by staging a symbolic walk for peace between New York and Washington later this week. Don Cladstrip, CBS News, Paris.
Let's go down to the room.
Okay. Everybody know where we're going?
Yeah. They want to make it seem like getting rid of Trump for president. Get rid of Trump for president. And they're showing it right here. Yeah, that media work. That media work. That's fucking much.
Well, as you know, April passed, May passed, June passed, July passed, August has passed, and after about 4 or 5 false starts in the last 2 or 3 days, he's here. I'm sorry it's been a little bit chaotic trying to organize a meeting, but I wasn't sure at any time whether he was going to be here or not. Would you? I'd just like to read a little thing that appeared in a marked Tehran, and it's 2 days ago. Yeah. Black American civil rights activist Dick Gregory will be leaving Iran today. 4.5 months ago, 4.5 months after coming to Tehran, Gregory is to fly home. His trip to Iran was his own bid for world peace.
Thus deciding when the bomb's going to fall and when it's not. And I just feel that there is a God, and we have a force that's stronger than all nuclear bombs if we use it. It's called prayer, and that's what I chose to do. My wife has been on a fast 1 day longer than me. I'm at 147, she's 148. I actually went over there for 3 days, 4 days. The reaction prompted me to stay. I didn't go over there to see nobody. I didn't go there to bother nobody. The same God that's responsible for Iranians and responsible for Americans, that force will determine when Jimmy Carter or Khomeini leaves. So when I'm in tune with that, that's the boss. And I felt the response was good, mainly because I didn't use that back. If I can get my energy back by Friday, I intend to walk from the United Nations to the White House as a prayer vigil and sit in front of the White House and continue to fast. I don't know energy-wise if I'll be able to, but that's the plan that I have. I just really believe that we can believe in knowing anything.
They cut that man
I'm not
videos
bringing
off.
messages.
See, they cut the man videos off because they didn't want to get
I have
what he
talked
really
to some
saying.
people in government.
That's bullshit.
There were some suggestions that I had made suggestions they had made, but it was low echelons of the government. And so that's why
Dick, you said that you think the Russians are much more involved there than people realize. What signs did you see of that?
Power, there was 300 newspapers on the stand, and now there's 5, and one of them's a communist paper. And for a regime to be that anti-communist, Russia must have a hand involved to keep that communist newspaper on the stand.
Did you get any indication at all that your hunger strike was having any effect whatsoever on the Iranian students?
The only effect I had is a gentleman, when I went to the family, but at least I can understand. And if he failed to understand it, he's in trouble. And I think we can. I think the longer we wait, I think now if a different deal would be cut now than 6 months from now. I think with the election going on, Jimmy Carter have to find a way out. I think the Iranian government now with the new parliament coming. I think Annie is just, but I just feel myself that problem can be solved. One of the sad things is the average Iranian in the street do not believe America wants those hostages back alive. Now that's understandable when you see. Yesterday I went in the supermarket and bought some grits, the same grits they use in the White House, Quaker Oats. I bought some Kool-Aid, and I bought some Nabisco shredded wheat, and I bought a pack of Winstons. Now you can buy a pack of Winstons quicker in Iran than you can in New York. Now, the average person in the street feels that if the American government, if people are attacking Iranians in America because of the hostages, but the business people will still ship their products against a boycott, you can't make more than 12 cents profit on a box of grits, then the hostages to them, in their mind, represents $8 billion. So if the hostages never come back, the $8 billion never come back. I think because of that attitude, I would strongly suggest that because the business community in America have violated the boycott, there is nothing that you cannot get in Iran that you couldn't get before. I think because of that, I would strongly suggest in the release that $8 billion. There's nothing else that gets off the mind that it's a money thing. But most of the people in the street, and this is down to people that go into the stores and see the American products, they really believe that if those hostages was killed in the morning, America would love it because it represents $8 billion. And I would just like to see that part of it. I didn't see that many. Get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, pray till 12 noon, and go to bed at 8 o'clock every night.
You were there with several other girls?
About 3 days.
But then the rest of the time you were alone?
By myself.
In that room?
Yeah, I've gone some periods, 3 weeks where I talk to anybody. No Iranians, and you know, in a country where you don't understand the language, it's kind of incredible. I'm a better person. I really.
What exactly did you eat? Did you eat anything during this period?
It depended. There were certain days, the first 8 days I was there, I didn't eat or drink anything. The fact that after I realized that the amount of respect that some of the quarters was putting on a prayer vigil and a fast vigil, and I realized the faster I could lose weight, the more effective it would have. So this was crazy fast. I would go 3 days sometime without taking anything, and 1 day with water, 3 days with fruit juice, 2 days with water. And then every so often someone would come by. And the effect it had was just, I got a letter yesterday from the Revolutionary Guard that had just come back from Kirk. And the respect that a soldier would write to someone that swore against killing and believed killing is wrong, it's just incredible. The effect of not eating, everybody likes to eat.
Did you not eat at all in the entire period?
The whole period. But I don't intend to eat until something happens.
How do you feel?
It depends. When I got off the plane in Frankfurt, I was very weak.
How long are you going to be in Paris?
I'm leaving out tomorrow at 11 o'clock on the West Coast. I'll be in New York, and then I'll be in the dentist.
You got your nose tickling, huh? Huh?
We didn't make home every day.
the down button. Functions. Messages. Button. 2 new messages. Events. Friend. Text to speech unavailable here. And breathe. 2 players. Select screenshot. Record voice message. Select record voice message. Button. Select screenshot. Button. Record voice message. Error. The mic. Record OK. Record OK. Record OK. And select screenshot. Select screenshots. Grand Theft Auto 5_20. And breathe. Enter message. On screen keyboard. A capital. S K L L space K A S A S L L Shift O cap U Shift N cap Shift H Y T E capital O cap L A backspace Shift on Arc E W Q A capital E capital. Done. Send. Enter message. Input field. Text to speech unavailable here. Function screen. TV and video services. YouTube. Button. Options. YouTube.
This before. Or occupying Wall Street. Occupying Wall Street. Yeah, don't get it. People make the work. Make me the carry on. In the bathroom. Think about it. If you got any good police on the police force, why are you on the police force? If you're not doing nothing about the bad police on the police force. It makes you a bad policeman. Being a good policeman that thinks you're a good policeman that ain't doing nothing about the bad policeman. How can you be a good policeman? You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Because of the shitty policeman makes you, as trying to be a good policeman, a shitty policeman because you ain't getting rid of the shit that's your policeman. It is what it is. And I gave you exactly how the creator gave to me to give to you. And then I'm going to tell you soldiers. What type of soldier are you to go and kill other people for someone else's agenda and not to help some people? You're nothing but a fucking puppet mutt dog that somebody can sick on a citizen without a gun at any
I think
time
our
because you
speakers on
ain't
and then
nothing
we
but
have
a
time.
piece of shit.
Dick, would you please make your comments?
Let me first say that I thank and praise God that we made it here today. And let me say to Dolores and everybody who puts this energy out there.
I stop right there to say to anybody that is basically doing exactly what Dick do when he pray. When you hear Dick do what he do when he pray just like you do, it's the same thing that was taught to you that was taught to Dick too. It was taught to me too. But once you know the truth and you can explain the truth to the point where the truth makes sense, to the point where you can make something out of the sense that it makes, you got to start thinking for you about the shit that was taught to you that don't make sense and you can't make sense out of it, but you're taught to believe in and have faith in it, and all the belief and the faith that you didn't had in it, you didn't seen exactly where it got you. From there, you should know that the truth is just that, the truth. It is in you to come out of you so you can tell it. Because you have to know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing, unless you're stupid. And like I said again, it's a shame, but the truth is the truth. We was all taught to be stupid. But sooner or later, enough is enough, and you gotta live there and let go of this stupid stuff because you know that it don't make no motherfucking sense. So why are you believing in it? Me myself, I don't believe in nothing no more. I know that the truth is just that, the truth. And the truth given to me adds up to me being Mr. Glasses 48 from the point of the creator telling me to take on Mr. Glasses and the 48, and then gave me the understanding, the overstanding, the understanding, the getting exactly what was being explained to me to get to be able to give it to you. I had to be explained to me who I am to even know who are you. I'm just giving it to you exactly the way the creator give it to me to give it to you. Because I don't talk to y'all ass no more. I talk straight to your hearts. Because as the creator telling me, your heart is the only thing that's part of you that's smart. Because it pumps the blood, it don't suck it. It does what it's supposed to do as it does it. It does it just this smart. Your heart beats with that magnetic rotational pull of your heartbeat being beaten with this Earth's magnetic rotational pull, pulling you from today into tomorrow. Now, hear all those numbers. Because, like I said again, people lie, numbers don't. And all my numbers add up to me knowing the truth right now. All my numbers add up to me being Aquarius, the water barrier, and it being the hour of the awakening, it being the hour of the Aquarius. It is what it is. The truth is the truth. And all I can tell you is that it's in you to know what love really is. Not the love that y'all take for granted when y'all say the word or y'all not knowing the name. Because when you look at love is the only word that you can say in vain. Meaning, if you tell someone you love them and you don't feel the same, when they find out that you lied about loving them, that can change their whole world to the point of them not wanting to be in this world. All because of the lying that you did saying that you love them and you did. That is the only word you can say in vain. Because if you was to say that you're not supposed to say the Creator's name in vain, I say you couldn't say the Creator's name in vain if you don't know it. Because God is not the Creator's name. Because if you look at all the different gods that go along with all the different religions, you'll start to come to the realization of someone is lying. Because one thing about the Creator stands alone, second to no God. And you know there's gods as many. But once again, the Creator is the only love unconditionally. that you feel that you could never control. Love unconditional, the feel of being the creator of all that has been created and will be created after we are gone. It is what it is. The creator is in you to never be alone. But when you come together with the better half of you to make you whole, that's the only time when 1 plus 1 equals 1, divine 1, as 2, creating just like the creator. So when you think about all that there is in you to be, is what the creator gave you to be. That's life, free will, and choices. We are the greatest creation of all that was created for the creator to be in, consciously thinking with the creation. It wouldn't make the creator divine if the creator was to control our mind and take away our free will. Because there's no such thing as a heavenly father when the creator is just that, the creator. Your father is here on earth, just like Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Man was created to only be one thing, a strong dick. I'm sorry for the consolation, man. But man wanted to steal that place of being just like that woman, but he could never take that place. That's why I can say there's a slap in a woman's face when you get on your knees and you say, Our Father, who art in heaven, when you just came out of the heavenly place. I'm just saying. You gotta wake up, people. We've been lied to, people. We've been lied to be sheeple. Because the best way to control a people is to control what they believe in. When I say people lie, numbers don't. When I say that my numbers, they all add up. I can give you my birth date for me being born here, to me knowing that my mama did all the work to deserve happy birthday. I didn't do shit, so happy born day. It is what it is when you're telling the truth. You gotta be about the truth. You gotta live for the truth. You gotta lay up there and stand up on the truth. And I can't stand up, but I definitely roll on it.
Thank you. We talk about what's legal and what's not legal. And, as a 61-year-old black man, I remember slavery was legal, but it wasn't ethical. And if you put the energy out here and make people aware, things do happen. It was 6 of us that went to Kroger's and said, we'd like for you to take the rolling, the cigarette paper out of your stores. And they did it. $80 million profit just because someone was concerned. We wrote to 12 oral executives and told them the same thing about mini marts. Exxon just got in touch and say they will. When you bring certain things to people's attention and tell them the moral reason why. And I think what should encourage you all more than anything is cigarette smoking is legal in America. And people is hooked to it. And I used to smoke 4 packs a day. And when people put information out there, what happened, cigarette smoking is on a decline in America because the conscience level of people is becoming aware. We have less accidents by death from drunken driving today because the information is out there. And so as long as you put information out there, you're going to have one group of people that the minute they get that information, they're going to say yes and stop. And I think if you look at the Hustler magazines and all those magazines, no one ever thought that some concerned people would go into 7-Eleven stores and they would have to put little bands around those. And so I just say, what you're doing, it's going to work. It's going to take. But we have to understand you have to interfere with the commerce of America. And if you don't interfere with the commerce, and we have to let folks know that we African Americans have $400 billion cash flow every year. And when you start letting folks know economically, and there's a lot of our children that listen to us. There's a lot of our children when we go and say, and a lot of our children, they have a strong economic force out there. But trust me, they get it from us.
When I told my 10 black children they was all going to black colleges and they been in white neighborhood, they started rumbling and my wife got upset. I said, trust me, none of them's working. You know, we finance these schemes. And so I just wanted to come here today and say thanks. And you have made a difference, and you will make a difference. And I would say in 1994, and finally let me say that I feel real insulted living in a system that you can turn on Jeff Dam, and Jeff Dam and see anything you want to see on there derogatory to black women. But if someone came up with a genius that black folks were singing opera every week better than anyone ever had, we couldn't find an hour every week to showcase that. And so it is very important that we go out there and deal with it and say to the whole world that we as black folks do care what is going on. And again, I just want to say thank you to the press and thank you to those of you who work so hard. Thank you. God bless you. WOL's position is the same as the ones that's been taken. I can't speak for WL. Kathy was on her way here, but they have decided, along with the other stations, that they're not going to run that type of stuff. And again, we just say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, for our next speaker, I asked him what kind of Bible did he want. He said, I'm just a brother. Now, you tell me if anyone out there know Brother Dick Gregory.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me first say that we thank and praise God that we all made it here safely today. And we pray to God that your return and my return will be equally as safe. Black woman! Black woman! 2 years ago, Minister Farrakhan summons black men to Washington, D.C. And 1.5 million black women that day knew where your husbands was. Today, I say to black men all over America, if you're looking for your black woman and don't know where she is, she's in Philadelphia. She's in Philadelphia. God bless you. We say to you today, we black men thank you, sisters. We know you could do it. And do me one favor. Don't get caught up with the press talking about how many of y'all was here. When they ask you how many, just say, who gobs of black folks? And let them figure out what who gobs means. When we leave here today, we will go back home with a new life and a new spirit. But understand, we are doing nothing new today. When they talk about the black family, we've always been the black family. The strongest two forces that ever existed in the history of America have always been the black woman and the black church. That's why both of y'all have always been under attack. So I say to you today, this morning at 5:30, when I went out to the prayer vigil and I saw that rain coming down so strong, I say God has blessed the black woman because no life can ever be born unless the water breaks ahead of it. And so we in a new life today. I leave you today, I say thank you, black woman. I say thanks to the black ancestors. Thanks to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that knew who he was. Thanks to the Martin Luther King, the Malcolm X, the Civil Rights Movement, the Dorothy Heights. Thanks to Dolores Tucker that took on gangster rap by herself. Not a black man, but a black woman. And I say to you, thanks to Maxine Waters that's been out here on the forefront saying to the CIA, we're not going to tolerate you bringing dope in the black community, then blaming it on the black family. The black family have never broken down. We hear them talk about we got to get back to the
days of the family. When did America ever have a family? When they came over here and beat up and killed the Indians and stole their land, when they stole us and made us work for free, when a Jew couldn't walk down the street without changing their last name and their nose, when an Irish Catholic died just because they was Irish Catholics, when 2 Italians went to the electric chair in Massachusetts just because their name was Sacco and Vanzetti. Ask the Irish, ask the Italians, ask the Asians, ask the Hispanics, ask the white women, when have we ever been a family? We are closer to a family today than ever before in the history of America. Take that back home, family. And I say to you, black woman, know who you are. People say it's not going to work. We don't know who these 2 sisters are. You don't have to know who black women are. Just know that they're black women, and that's enough to know. So I say to you, black woman, they don't call hurricanes hurricanes for nothing. The reason they not hurricanes because hurricanes is named after the black woman. All hurricanes started in West Africa where the slaves was put on the ship. And all hurricanes stay under the water and follow the same path that the slave ship followed. No slave was offloaded on those ships until they got to the Caribbean. No hurricane jumps above water until it gets to the Caribbean. And then it hits this country and go all the way up the east coast to Maine. And Canada is right across the street from Maine. And Canada's never had a hurricane because Canada's never treated black women the way America has. Know who you are. Know your power. Know your strength. And I leave this with you. Listen to me good. Communications is the river. Understanding is the ocean. All of us determine how fast that river gets to the ocean is determined by how many dams you have to go through. Black woman, you've been through one dam after another. No, you are ocean. You are ocean. And so I say to you, when you look in the mirror at yourself, when you go back home, and black brothers, listen to me good. Never ever again refer to your black woman as being strong and your pickup truck as being beautiful. Your pickup truck is strong and your black woman is beautiful. And understand that. And sister, know that. And I leave you with 2 things. A butterfly can fly all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. It can fly all the way across the Pacific Ocean, but the bald eagle can't make that trip. Know who you are, butterfly sister. Thank God we came to Philadelphia, because a bunch of white men came to Philadelphia one day, and they wanted to talk about liberty, but they didn't represent liberty, and they knew that, so they took a bell, and they said, we will let the bell be the symbol of liberty, and they hit the bell. And God cracked that bell from the bottom all the way to the top. And anytime you look at the Liberty Bell, you're looking at a quack, quack, quack. When I look out here at you today, there's nothing quack about your liberty.
has died. CBS 2's Christy Fajardo is live in Hollywood at Gregory's Star on the Walk of Fame with more on his life and his legacy. Christy.
Yes, Serene, Dick Gregory's talent and his fame earned him this star here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But tonight, his contributions to the civil rights movement is also being remembered.
Brother called me. They about to repossess my car. What must I do? Don't park in front of the house.
That was Dick Gregory in a 2009 TV special, but he became famous decades earlier in the early 1960s, satirizing segregation and racism. He was one of the first African-American comics to play white nightclubs. He began his career in the Army, but got his big break in 1961 when Hugh Hefner booked him at the Playboy Club. He was also the first black comedian to sit on the couch on The Tonight Show, and later used his celebrity to champion desegregation and equality, trading stand-up for sit-ins at civil rights rallies, and stayed active in politics over the years. Tonight, words honoring his legacy are pouring in on Twitter. Singer John Legend writes, Dick Gregory led an amazing revolutionary life, a groundbreaker in comedy, and a voice for justice. The Reverend Jesse Jackson tweeted, he taught us how to laugh, he taught us how to fight, he taught us how to live. Dick Gregory was committed to justice. I miss him already. And Whoopi Goldberg had this to say, tweeting, about being black in America, Dick Gregory has passed away. Condolences to his family and to us, who won't have his insight to lean on. Now back out here live, Dick Gregory died in a hospital in Washington, D.C. He was 84 years old. He is survived by his wife and 10 children, and legions of fans who are mourning him tonight.
Celebrating the life of the civil rights activist and comedian, Dick Gregory.
Yeah, fans are paying tribute to the man who so brilliantly used humor to fight against racism and to fight for social justice. And Ron is back with more. He had some really good
He really did. Dick Gregory died in Washington yesterday. He once said that humor can no more find the solution to race problems than it can cure cancer. True, but Gregory's edgy brand of comedy made a lot of people, white and black, at least do some hard thinking about those problems.
Dick Gregory was a trailblazer, one of the first black comedians to bring racially charged comedy to white audiences in the early 1960s.
I hate to see any baseball player having trouble. That's a great sport for my people. That is the only sport in the world where a Negro can take a stick at a white man and won't start no riot.
His first big break was an appearance on The Tonight Show in 1962. Gregory had only agreed to go on the show if he could sit down with host Jack Paar after his routine. Before then, African Americans appearing on the show would have to leave the set after performing.
When they say this show features living color, you better believe it.
One of the first black comedians with crossover appeal to white audiences, Gregory would become an outspoken activist for civil rights.
You can always laugh at problems that's right. Everyone in the whole world knows this is wrong. So then you can make humor out of it and matter like you enlighten people.
He marched in Selma, Alabama in 1965, protested the Vietnam War, often staging hunger strikes. Later in his career, he went on to perform in TV specials, never losing his hallmark edge.
I came back in from Europe last month, CNN. Mr. Gregory, you think we'll ever catch Bin Laden? I said, whoop. I ain't looking for him. I'm still trying to find out who my daddy is.
This morning, reaction to Gregory's death. Whoopi Goldberg calling him a fall-on-your-face laughing comedian. And singer John Legend, who produced a play about him, saying Dick Gregory lived an amazing, revolutionary life.
And a few years ago, Dick Gregory was asked how he wanted to be remembered. He said, quote, I am the turtle, hard on the outside, soft on the inside, and willing to stick your neck out. He was 84 years of age and certainly willing to stick his neck out.
It's an important time to be having this conversation in America.
Absolutely. And very, very funny comic. Absolutely. One of the jokes that I read in the newspaper was he said that he spent 9 months at a sit-in at a lunch counter, and when it was finally integrated, they didn't have anything he wanted to eat.
Yeah. All right, Ron, thanks for bringing us that.
Oh, that's beautiful, bro. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we back to the marathon of the hurricane dealing with John. and this bullshit happening outside my window. So let's see what's happening. What else we got here? That was dick. I said truth about Jamaica, but we don't see no kind of truth Jamaica. Can't ask that thing with the hurricane. I don't see no animals get killed. But we do want to deal with y'all knowing the truth is. I'm calling the best love kept. And dressed in truth. Well dressed by. Well dressed by. Yeah, baby.
For y'all today. You hungry? All right. As Les Brown said, you